today I just wanted to do a unboxing and initial impressions review of the IL Makiage makeup. I've been seeing this foundation a lot on Instagram where people would do a quiz and they would have a color that is almost a perfect match to their skin. So I also ordered a kit online. So with this website, it is an online order where you do take a quiz where you get a series of questions that are asked, and these series of questions will ask what type of skin you have, show some example photos of skin colors, ask about your skin undertone, and the type of finish you would like to have with your makeup. It also takes into consideration the time of year. For example, some people tend to tan in the summer, so their skin is a little bit darker, or if their skin is a little bit lighter than they are usually. And then the website will also generate some recommendations as to other things that you can pair with the foundation. And after completing the quiz, I've received my package in the mail, and I'd just like to do a quick unboxing to show the items that I received. So after completing the quiz, the color that was matched for me in terms of the foundation is the shade 35. For the foundation Try Before You Buy Woke Up Like This Flawless Base Foundation. As one of the recommendations for concealer shade, I was recommended a shade 2.5, and the name of the concealer is Try Before You Buy I'm Flawless Multi-Use Perfecting Concealer in the shade 2.5. And usually when I apply foundation, I also like to use a primer just to smooth over my skin because I do have larger pores, and I do find that when I wear a foundation for too long, sometimes the foundation goes in my pores and you do see that there's more texture in the skin and more unevenness where the pores lie. So I do like to use a primer before the foundation, so I decided to pair a concealer and primer with my package. So this is what I received in the mail. It does come in this box, and inside are the products. So I've already actually tried out the products once, and I just wanted to show this on camera, so this is like a fake unboxing. But when you do open the box, it looks like this. Here it does show how to use, or actually it says how it works. So number 1, try the products. These products are yours to try for 14 days, starting on the day that they are delivered, and love it or return it. So if you love them, you keep them, and if you don't, you visit the website and return. So you can download a return label and send the products back within 14 days of delivery. So that would be at the end of your trial, and the instructions are here on the top of the box. And inside are the 3 products that I ordered. So first here, this is the foundation. It is the Woke Up Like This Flawless Base Foundation in the color number 35. That was the color that was matched for me after taking the quiz. And this is the No Filter Poreless Base Smoothing Primer, 25 ml. So the primer is clear. It doesn't have a color, so it can, I guess, be applied to any skin tone. And the last one is the concealer. This is the I'm Flawless concealer in the shade 2.5. So I'm going to be trying out these products and giving my first impressions. So we're going to start with the Poreless Base Smoothing Primer. This comes in a 25 ml packaging. I'm just going to open the box and take it out. So first impressions of the packaging. It does look very pretty. However, because it is made out of plastic, it does feel a little bit cheap, like if you hear the sound. But overall, it does look quite nice. So this is what it looks like. I'm going to just open the lid and put a little bit just on my hand here. And it does come out clear, and the texture and consistency is kind of like a silicone gel. And I'm just gonna put it onto my face. So usually I'll put it onto my like T-zone area and also here, because you can see that I do have like kind of uneven textured skin where I do have like larger pores, which is why I like to do the primer after I've washed my face and applied toner, as well as moisturizer, just to have my skin, you know, like moisturize as part of my skin routine. But before foundation, I like to do a little bit of a primer just to kind of even out the pores and like my skin texture. As you can see here, I do have combination skin, and it's also very sensitive. Like, it tends to turn red often if I laugh, or just overall I have like kind of combination skin, so I prefer to have the primer before the foundation. Okay, great. So I just applied the primer over like the main oily areas of my face, like the T-zone. It's looking a little bit shiny right now because I did apply like a lot of moisturizer earlier. So I'm going to just leave it as is and go on to the foundation. Okay, so the next step, we're moving on to the foundation. This is the Woke Up Like This foundation in the shade 35, and it is the 30 ml or 1 fluid ounce bottle. And the box is kind of cool because it opens like this, where you have the foundation coming out of this side here. So I kind of like the packaging just because it's a little bit creative. Okay, so we're taking out the bottle. The bottle is made out of glass. It is like this matte glass that we have, and it is a little bit heavy. Okay, I'm just gonna remove the lid here and just do an initial pump again on the back of my hand. Maybe I'm gonna do another pump. So initially, on first impression, the first time I opened this, the texture of this foundation is very thick. It's almost like that paint that kids kind of have in art class. So like that means also the consistency is fairly heavy, I would say. So I'm just gonna start putting it onto my skin using a makeup sponge. So here, I don't know if you can see this, but just dabbing a little bit. And also with my foundation, I like to do the same. I like to just put bits in my T-zone area first, and then kind of slowly just spreading it out. It's like a little bit uneven, but we're gonna spread it out. Okay, so in terms of the color of the foundation, it is matching my skin color. And the consistency of it is that it does have fairly, for me, I would say medium to heavier coverage, just because I prefer like more natural light coverage foundations, just because they don't feel as heavy on the skin. It's mostly because I naturally have like bigger pores and oily skin, so when I find that when I use heavier foundations, I tend to have more oil during the daytime, and I usually don't wear any makeup, but for the times that I do, I prefer it to be lighter just so that it's easier on my skin. So right now, we've just evened out the blots of foundation, and I think it's looking pretty good. On camera, I'm not sure if it shows, but I think it does cover up my pores and like the unevenness, or you know, like just the bumpiness here on this side. But I'm just gonna apply a little bit more and see how it looks. So far, this is what the foundation looks like. Maybe I'll put a little bit more here to cover this little bit of blemish. But I think in terms of the color, it did do a really good job, like in terms of matching my skin tone. It does give me like the color that I wanted. Okay, so after applying the foundation, I'm going to put on the concealer now. So this is the concealer. I'm Flawless, in the shade 2.5. So here you can kind of see the color. Okay, and the packaging is very modern, cool looking. Another silver plastic bottle. Just opening it up. Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit here. I don't usually wear concealer just because the consistency is so thick and it breaks me out normally. I think instead of concealer, what I do is I kind of put a little bit of lighter powder to kind of like brighten these areas, but I do see a lot of people do this as almost kind of a contour, so I'm gonna go for it and see how this looks. But actually, just to begin, I do want to talk about the consistency of the concealer. It is fairly thick, like where the texture is kind of like the texture is also kind of like that childhood kids art, that childhood kids paint where it's very like blobby. And that's kind of the impression I'm getting. But let's see how it looks on the skin to see if it's something that's suitable for me. Because again, you know, I'm always very wary of products that are more creamy and heavy just because I do have very sensitive skin. And when the product is thicker, I tend to break out or I have red skin that comes from the sensitivity. So it's already turning like a little bit red just from me wiping with a sponge. So I'm not sure if this is right for me. But again, I'm just gonna even out the concealer from underneath my eyes. I think my skin actually does look a little bit more even with the foundation on because number one, it's not as greasy, and number two, like I think the coverage does help a little bit. And this is what it looks like with the foundation and the concealer. Hi there, I just want to change the lighting a little bit so that the texture of my skin is a little bit more visible, just to kind of have an idea as to how the foundation looks. But I think even without adding powder to set the foundation, it's kind of like making my skin overall a little bit more even. And I think it has to do with the texture of the foundation as well because it is a little bit thicker. I think it kind of like makes up for some of the dryness and bumpiness in my skin where the big pores are. And this is what it looks like close up. I don't really wear a lot of makeup, like ever, just because I feel like it's not that great for my skin. I already don't have like the best skin and I just try my best to take care of it through skincare. But on the occasional, I do wear makeup, so like I would like to try out like a good foundation. But because my skin is so sensitive, it's hard for me to find one that I really like. Ooh, ooh. Mm. So I'm just applying the setting powder now. Usually it helps with the bumps and like the texture in the skin. Okay, and this is like technically full face makeup, but it doesn't show that much on camera. And just to come in close, you can still see all the pores, but this is what it looks like. Hey guys, I just wanted to do an update with the makeup. It has been 4 hours since I last filmed, which was around 7 o'clock. It's currently 11:35. So first impressions, I feel really dry and itchy, like I really want to just like rub off the makeup off my skin. I think it is because the formula is a little bit heavier and it's feeling a little bit itchy right now, but also I don't know if you can tell, but my skin is getting really oily, and I think one of the reasons is also because it's so dry that your skin is naturally producing more oil to kind of protect itself. So, in that sense, I don't really think that this formula is for me, just because I have very combination and sensitive skin. And because I do have larger pores, I think that's why my skin produces a lot of oil, as you can see like in the reflection of the light here. What I'm gonna do next is just to remove the makeup on camera just to see how my skin reacts. So you see it is coming off, even though on the camera it's like a very subtle change, if any at all, but I am like taking off the makeup. You can see it here. but I do find that my face gets really red whenever I remove makeup. That makes my skin feel sensitive. And even though this is like a quote unquote first impression, even though this is a first impression video, I did try this makeup out one time before just to kind of like gauge how I feel about it before I filmed this. And honestly, the first time I filmed, my skin was extremely red and irritated after I removed the makeup just because of how long it had been sitting on my face. But mind you, today, like, if I were to wear the makeup, it'd probably for like at least a half day or a full day. Right now it has only been around 4 hours since I last filmed. The redness I don't think shows as much on camera, but my skin is getting really, really itchy just from the formula. Like I mentioned, I think it is a little bit thicker and like a little bit higher coverage, or maybe the ingredients are different than what I'm used to because prior to this one, I used to use the Shiseido um Shiseido foundation because that is the skincare line I usually use for my skin. So right now on camera it seems okay. There is a little bit of redness like here, here, but it could also just be from me rubbing it with the facial wipe. I'm gonna just take a look in the mirror and see how my skin is looking. So right now is my skin with the makeup removed. I do find that like whenever I do wear a foundation, my skin the next day gets really irritated, and also my pores noticeably become more textured. I don't know if you're able to see this on camera right now, but my skin is actually kind of burning like here and here and here. It is a little bit like subtly red in these areas, but to be honest, I don't think I am a fan of this formula. I do think that I will be returning it just because of the way that my skin kind of reacts to it, and I do have like more sensitive skin. Just wanted to do a close-up of my skin. We do see a little bit of redness. It doesn't show as much on camera, but this is what it looks like. It is a little bit shiny from the makeup remover wipe that I used, but all in all, I think I will be returning the package just because my skin is a little bit more sensitive and the formula is a little bit heavier for me. And it does dry up my skin, and I naturally have larger pores, so it just kind of like accentuates the unevenness.